What is happening, everybody? It's your boy. It's me. It's PLD.
And I'm Richard Eric Jarvie. Welcome to Class Action. This is exciting. I'm recording at a totally new place. I'm at my new workplace. And interesting fact, this is actually the same floor where they do the national news of Estonia.
Really?
Like the studio floor. Yeah, this is not the studio itself. I wish it was. I'm not that big here.
Yeah.
But this floor, like they actually like around the corner, that's where they like do the live broadcast for the newscasters.
Don't put yourself down. You are obviously much bigger than the Estonia national news. This show
I'm pretty
right
sure
here
this room is mic'd up anyway, and this is all going live. Nationally.
Wow. Well, welcome to Class Action. This is a great. Well, I'll let you introduce the show first. We at Class Action, we would take two things, we put them up against each other from 5 custom-made categories. You battle to the death. And this is the first time we're doing comedies. We're doing
this is exciting.
Comedies. I mean, this is new ground for us.
It is, and you've been pushing this episode for a while now, and I'm so excited you pushed it through because the two movies that are going against each other, they are Game Night and Tag, which are that is like the perfect matchup because they're so similar, they're so freaking awesome.
They're very similar in tone. They really are. Like they're not like story wise at all, but you just kind of get that same kind of feel. They're both zany, like high impact, high tense,
very
comedy. Heightened energy. It's very energetic the whole way through. Great casts, great funny, hilarious moments. One is a little darker than the other, I think, but they both have their dark moments.
I'd say both get pretty dark for a while.
They get darker. There's definitely have some dark moments, which is always kind of tricky.
Which would you say is darker?
I would say Tag gets a little darker.
Yeah, probably about the ending, right?
Yeah, the ending and a little bit. There's some moments in there. We'll discuss it, I'm sure.
Sure.
But I also want to quick also say we are on the Action Industries YouTube channel, the home of Ben Bateman, Andrew Guy. Definitely want to salute them for giving us this little slice on the YouTube channel, on the YouTube space on their YouTube channel. We're going right through. We're breezing through this intro like we've never breezed through before. Are we actually getting used to it after like 30 episodes? Is that what's going on here? Like,
probably not. Probably it's just a fluke.
Probably missed something, or like later on we'll be like, oh shit, we forgot to say this.
We probably did. Right, that's true. I forgot my hat today. I forgot that. I look like a shiny cue ball right here.
It fits though. I think it fits for some reason.
If I ever get the code name, not code name.
Call sign.
I'm probably getting bald eagle or something.
Call sign bald cue ball. Call sign cue ball. I think call sign cue ball works well. If you're in general, I think that's what we should go with. Absolutely.
Call sign shine.
Call sign shiny. I love it.
And I bet if I would ever make it to the States and meet up you guys, everyone would go like this.
Oh yeah,
shine it up.
Yeah, real nice.
But I digress,
as we always do. One other we should mention is that this is kind of a weird week. You're taking off on a little vacation next week, so we actually recording this a lot earlier than we usually do. We're recording 2 episodes this week, so we're gonna see what we have in us. We had to watch more movies than we usually do, come up with different categories. This is hard work, people. We're slaving away over here, but it's a lot of fun.
This is totally not fun for us.
Not at all.
Ben and Drew are making us do this every week.
Every week, you have to talk.
You only knew the contracts they have us in.
Long-term contracts, signed our life
for life.
Anyway, before we get into our 5 custom-made categories, we have some segments we like to do. We do not, because of that, actually, I mentioned that for a reason, our little scheduled vacation or thing, extra work this week, I should say, is because we don't have a public defender this week, at least for this episode. I'm working on one for Batman.
So you're saying I don't have to explain public defender this week?
You do not have to explain public defender. You're off the hook, so you're okay with that. It's going to be up to me. I will explain our first segment. This segment is What Would Ed Harris Play? Of course, Ed Harris, my favorite actor of all time.
Yes.
Look at that, man. He's so beautiful.
That gruff look.
Silver eyes. We always like to put him in every movie we talk about. We're talking about Tag versus Game Night. Where would Ed Harris fit into either of these movies? Because he always makes movies better. He never phones a performance. He adds certain gravitas to the scene. It's always awesome to see. So we have a lot of fun.
He's an intense character.
Absolutely. So you actually prepared this week more than you usually do. Usually I come in here and I'm like, okay, what do you want to do? And you're like, oh shit, you have to come up with something off the cuff. You actually, that's like a public defender moment for you right there. But so yeah, that works.
We didn't practice that.
No, we didn't.
But yeah, but I did remember and I did prepare it, which is why it's probably gonna suck big time. Usually I'm pretty good at like on the go. I feel like my choices for this week are kind of derivative.
Okay. I'm interested to see because we did, let you behind the curtain. We talked a little bit before scenes, and we don't know each other's picks, but we kind of like went back and forth and like kind of give little teases, and we think we might have exact same choices on both movies, which would be kind of funny. But we'll have to see what happens here. Why don't we go with your game night one first?
All right, my game night one. That feels like the shoe-in version. I had a few thoughts, but the one I landed on would be the Bulgarian, Michael C. Hall's character at the end when he finally shows up. It's a pretty good character played by Michael C. Hall, and I do like what he does. He pretty much doesn't have much to do. He's just this smug mob guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think have Ed Harris as the shock cameo.
Right.
I think he'd be way more intimidating.
Yeah, that's a good call. That's a totally good call. That was not who I picked.
The other one that I had was I wanted to put him in as the Danny Houston role, but he's not in the movie at all. Like he's like I'm pretty sure they cut a lot of his stuff. He's like almost not in the movie. He's a big name.
Yeah, for the amount of role he has, he's barely in the movie. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
It's why I gave him that role, though. I gave him the Danny Houston role myself, and
did you?
I wanted to develop more out of that character. I think he could have done well. Not that he could have done better in a way.
Well, if you have Ed, I don't want to say Danny Houston isn't as big as Ed Harris, but they would have to give him more than Danny Houston.
Exactly.
For sure.
You would think so. But that'd be so that's what I was hoping for. But either way, I like your pick as well. Both of the same wavelength. They're both the same general area, but they both would work very well. So they're not exciting picks this week for the game night, as they sometimes are, but they are solid choices, which is sometimes all you can ask for.
Yeah, let us know in the chat which of these do you like better, me or Paul's.
There you go. Yeah, we should start doing that this week. That'd be great. That's a good idea. We never thought about doing that. Have the chat decide for us.
Thank you, sir.
Good job. Good work. All right. Well, let's go with tags. I'm actually more excited about my tag pick than I was game night. But I'll let you go first, Jan. Let's see if you pick the same thing I do. I
made up a new character for Ed Harris.
Which, by the way, is something we can do. We never actually said that.
Yeah. To explain,
I should explain that. We sometimes we replace somebody that they're in. Like we said, we replace Danny Houston, the Bulgarian. And in Tag's case, sometimes what we like to do is write a new character in and develop a little storyline for them and how they would fit into the movie. They actually have to create new scenes and everything else. We think they could make it even better that way. So, without further ado, Richard, who is your new character in Tag that's going to be played by Ed Harris?
All right, I would have Ed Harris as the father of Jeremy Renner.
God damn it!
Is it the same one?
Same exact thing.
Yeah, but that's for a good reason. Like like Ed Harris, he's like a shoo-in for a tough, competitive father that pushes his son, like pushes, and that would actually effectively explain how Jeremy Renner is the way he is.
God, so
he's
good.
Uncatchable. He's like, you gotta train, you gotta win at everything you do in life. He's getting, winners go home and fuck the prom queen type of, mentality.
I want to see like flashbacks where Ed Harris, maybe de-age Ed Harris, had his own tag game for 30 years, and he passed it on to his son, and he trained him like he's like rough and tough, and you got to do this, that, and maybe making an appearance like the older Ed Harris, making an appearance like at the wedding or something, and like he'd be like, "What the fuck's going on?" Gets involved to help his son out somehow.
Yeah, that was my thought as well, that they could have Ed Harris run around the hospital at the end as well, like. Get all the generations involved,
There's our sequel. There's our sequel for Tag.
There we go. Tag 2. Tag again. 2. No, Tag back. No.
Tag back. Retag.
No, retag. Tag.
They can explore. I like that. Same, yeah, definitely both of us had the same thoughts. I liked how that went, but that's definitely, I think Tag is our winner as far as our choices this week. But I always seems like sometimes writing the characters in is more fun.
Mm-hmm.
It seems that
Certainly
way.
is. Yeah.
I almost feel like we should start doing that more often, but sometimes it's just like the slam dunk you got to go with. But well, all right. I thought of maybe trying to do something on air, but well, it'll take too long, and we'll have a lot of dead air if you think about it. So let's move on. That's how Ed Harris is this week. Thanks for sticking out for that. Let us know in the chat which one won. Well, of course, we both won the tag, the same exact one. But go from there. Let us know what your thoughts are. Maybe who you would replace or who you would write as a new character. I love reading that.
Yeah, because we stole this segment pretty much from Master Recaster that Ben and Drew used to do. They, but we kind of updated it to make it our own.
No, exactly. So, anyway, but you know what? Without further ado, we should get into the next segment, which is really more the spoiler, the meat and potatoes of the episode, which is where we introduce the categories and discuss at length which one is better. But before we do that, there is actually a new segment we're going to do. I sprung this on Jarvie right before we went live. He seemed to like it. I had a fancy legal name and everything. It fits our whole brand. I'm going to call this segment Snap Judgment. Now, what Snap Judgment means is something that we've come to. I think it's our 28th episode or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Something like that.
28 episodes in, we pick these movies, we pick these actors, we pick these franchises or whatever they are, and we always go and we go, I think this one's going to win. I just have a feeling this is a better movie. Like last week, for example, we did Tron and Ready Player One, and both of us went. If we had to like not go by categories, just I don't know, or just gut feelings, we both went Ready Player One.
Easily Ready Player One. Easily.
Boy, were we wrong after the categories came out. Tron whooped its ass 9-1.
You went perfect game for Tron, which is crazy because you've seen Ready Player One like, I don't know, 5 to 10 times.
Yeah.
You've seen Tron twice.
Twice.
That's
how it happened. I don't know. It's so weird. But that's the show. That's how the show works. And so we decided to implement this as a new thing. We're going to give you guys our snap judgment before we go into the categories. And then after the categories are over, we'll see how it relates back to our snap judgment.
That's right. And people can play along as well in the chat. Like you can say which movie do you think is going to win. So you can play along with us.
But don't do it now. Too late. I know I'm prior too late. Wait till I tell you the categories. At least that might be a thing.
All right.
The categories for the chat. For us, we're just going to go without the categories. So your snap judgment, without talking about any of the categories, and we already know the categories, but without thinking about it, just your gut instinct tells you which one did you like better, tag or game night.
I'm going with game night.
You're going with game night. That's funny. I'm going with tag.
All right.
All right. We'll see. Let's see. I did it on Letterboxd. I think I rated Game Night like a 5-star movie, and I rated I rated Tag a 5-star movie, and I rated Game Night I think a 4.5. I think.
You went that high on both of them.
I did. I love these movies. I thought they're hilarious.
Tag is a perfect movie for you.
Perfect movie for me. Perfect movie. I mean, there's a little. I could almost knock it down a 0.5 star for a few things we'll talk about, but overall, like I didn't. The good stuff was so good to me that I didn't really care about the minor mishaps. So I'd go with 5. But
yeah. For me, both of these movies are 4 out of 5.
I got them absolutely logical. It might even be like if I ever sat back and really thought about it again, it might be like Game Night being 4 and Tag being 4.5. Maybe that could be the way it is too. But either way, let's get into our categories. We have 5 categories. We had a little struggle coming up with the categories this week because it is, like I said, it's our first tag comedies together. Some of them some of the categories don't fit as well as the other ones have.
But I think what did help is that it involves a lot of action and it's very heightened, as we said. So everything gets turned more cinematic in these movies. Like these, relatively, what is like these low impact moments get like overdone in that movie. So in that sense, they both could be considered action comedies in some cases.
Oh yeah, to a degree, absolutely. There's definitely sequences of action throughout. In fact, there's some parody of action too, in a little bit too. So inspired by it. So, all right, our 5 categories are going to be number 1 is going to be ensemble cast. Obviously, these are both ensembles. So which cast is the better grouping of people? Number 2 is the concept behind the movie. They all have their specific reasons why this is all going down. We'll explain them, and we'll go into why things are better. 3, better lines. But I initially said better zingers, so I wanted to do one-liners, but it's not a lot of one-liners in this movie. These movies I found.
I did ask what is a zinger, though, so that's probably why you changed it.
That could be too. I think maybe it's not an American thing. I thought maybe it's just a PLD thing. I don't know. I basically meant the insulting. I usually kind of have these insults and things like that, but it seemed better just to have better lines, better line/dialogue, because I felt like more was dialogue that's specific, like one lines. But we'll get into that as well. Fours are usual. We stole this one a long time ago. It's always the best one. It's better fist bumps. Why? Like that's what we watch movies for. Ben Bateman said it best when he has fist bumps in Action Movie Anatomy. It's what you watch it for. It's what you get excited about. You're watching this movie.
You want to share this clip to your friend, like immediately.
Say right now. Watch this right now. I don't care what you're doing. You watch it now.
That's how it works.
That is how it works. By the way, I don't know if everyone knows what we're talking about. It's actually how Ben and Drew talked about it a long time ago. They used to have these segments like, I don't care if you're at your grandmother's funeral. You gotta watch this now. You're gonna find out. You're gonna watch this moment, and you're gonna love it. And it got to the point where Jarrett actually started doing that to each other.
Like we did.
We haven't done it in a while.
We even had a rule that you can do it once in a quarter, like a quarter of a year.
So we could go at any specific time. I think I was at a wedding once, and I had to excuse myself to go to the bathroom. I came back out. It was all good. It worked. It was great.
We gotta pick it back up.
I do. I like it. So anyway, the fifth category is a new category we've never done before. It's ones I'm calling it the MVP of the cast. Now I know we already have ensemble cast, but you can have a better team and not have a better quarterback. Or it doesn't even have to be a quarterback, because this is MVP can be anything. It could be the star of the show, or it could be like just a low-key cameo that for whatever reason hits you as being like the best part of the movie.
Exactly. The one who steals the show pretty much. Yeah.
For something, for whatever it is. And then we have to decide which one of those, well, we're going to say who ours are, and we'll decide which one of them, wins, basically. So.
Yep.
Without further ado, we should just
get in.
We are blowing through this. We're usually dragging things out a bit. Now we're just like going through it.
Don't jinx it, because when that happens, we're like, oh, we're on time to this week, and then by the end of the show, we're still like, oh, an hour and 20 minutes.
We've been shooting for an hour, try to be like an hour. Actually, at one point we were shooting for 45 minutes, when that just doesn't happen very often. Maybe today, we'll find out. All right, the first one, we got Tag versus Game Night as far as ensemble cast goes. I'll let you start there, Richard.
You can go first, actually, on this one.
Oh, I can. Thanks.
Yeah.
You know why you say this, guys? You know why you say this, folks? Is because we realized we had this game talk before. We pre-gamed a little bit. We both said that this is so close on everything. I don't think either of us have any of these categories picked yet. We're talking through these together. Do you have something picked?
I have the categories picked, but it's one of these shows that I could get convinced by you.
I don't,
but I'm going to try sticking to my guns here.
So I'm going to break this down for the ensemble cast, because I don't know what I'm going to pick yet, because they both have phenomenal ensemble casts. There's not really weak links in any of them. I mean, you got the main crew let's start with Tag. You have the main crew of Jeremy Renner, Ed Helms, Jake Johnson, John Hamm, Hannibal Buress, Annabelle Wallace as the Wall Street Reporter, and Isla Fisher.
I think it's Isla.
Isla? Yeah, you're right. Isla.
I think it's Isla.
It's 7. I'm tired. You're right. With great moments from Rashida Jones, and also a great cameo from Brian Dennehy early on in the movie, which is great as well. But those are
the father. Yeah.
Father of Chili, Jake Johnson's character. I love it. One of my favorite parts. I actually considered him Ed Harris as his role to see get him a little wacky.
That's it. My God, that would have been way better.
That could have been fun.
Why didn't I think of that? Have him as the stoner?
That'd be kind of cool too, right?
Yeah, that's a good one.
But anyway, we're past that now. So on the other side, you got Game Night. You got Jason Bateman, Rachel McAdams, Billy Magnuson, Sharon Hogan, who I didn't really know before. That's Ryan's co-worker, love it, just the Irish girl. Lamorne Morris. Also, funny enough, we have two new girl. It's Jake Johnson versus Lamorne Morris are the two people, both from the show New Girl. So they're going against each other.
That's right.
Got Kyle Bunbury, Jesse Plemons is there as a great character there.
Jesse Plemons.
Chelsea Peretti, Danny Houston, and Kyle Chandler also as in there. One of the Bateman favorites. God, how do you choose between those two casts?
It's tough.
I have an instinct.
All right.
My instinct is, I gotta get my scoreboard out so I can write this down. My instinct is telling me Tag. and here's why.
Hmm.
Game night has a few, I won't say weak links, but comparatively not quite as strong links, so to speak. Lamorne Morris's wife, Michelle, is okay. She's fine. She's good, but she doesn't really stand out comparatively. I'm not a huge fan of Billy Magnuson, but he does well in this. But comparatively,
Which
I
one was
can't.
Billy Magnuson?
Ryan, Ryan.
Are you kidding me? He's one of my favorites in the
really?
entire movie.
I kind of got a little bit of generic from him that I didn't really think was that.
He's one of the biggest reasons why I'm leaning towards Game Night.
Oh, how
Go
funny.
ahead.
How funny. I'll get into that.
Yeah.
I don't think he's bad. I just think less comparatively. I have no one on tag that I can say I don't like. I mean, they all make me laugh 100%. Like Jake Johnson's chili makes me laugh. Hannibal Buress might be.
Yeah.
I'm trying
Oh
to.
my God. He's
so good. So good. John Hamm is always good. The only again, I can't say weak link, but less strong would be the reporter character. But that's her playing the role she's supposed to play. That's that's the role she's supposed to play. She's the kind of like the straight man. She's a straight man for all the hijinks. She just got to watch and be at the audience in a way. But so much is good in there. I think I gotta go tag because even the lesser characters like Brian Dennehy, like Nora Dunn, Hoagie's mom, who's the chili.
Oh yeah, that was. I used the belt for naughty boys. Do you hurt them? I don't want to.
The bartender. I forget his name. Bartender. He's funny as hell. It's just more solid throughout, I think. Although, again, I say this and I start thinking about the lesser characters, like the smaller characters in game, like Jeffrey Wright as the FBI, as the game.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
Chelsea Peretti, who works for that company too.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Exactly. There's a lot of little things, but overall, I think I'm gonna just lean towards tag, and I can't even say why. I just feel just a little touch stronger for me.
I do get it, and that's something I thought about as well. Is the fact that tag has the friendship that's built on throughout. Like in the movie Tag, everyone knows each other for decades. Right. They've been playing the game for forever since they were, all of them were children. That already establishes a strong connection. You've like everything they do together. It's already there. The camaraderie, everything. They're so tightly wound, and you can feel their trustworthiness towards each other.
You know
Game
what?
night.
I would say, I was going to interject really quick. You say that, and that makes me think it even more. Actually, solidifies it for me for Tag because I think it's more palpable. The relationship between them is more palpable in Tag than is in Game Night. Game Night, they say they're friends forever, and they have the one moment where at the end when they say, "Oh,"
but that's my point.
Tag is the more okay.
That's it. That's my point. In Game Night, there's a lot of back and forth going between them, like back and forth in the sense that they're challenging each other. They're as much as like Tag, they are, they're playing the game, they are competing with each other, but it feels like they're very supportive of each other. In Game Night, there's always this one-upping each other sort of dynamic going on. And also like Ryan's character, he's like, he brings the date from work. Everyone starts piling on the guy. Like they are hammering that dude with all of his choices, everything, but it works. It's so funny. I don't know. I lean towards Game Night just because of that there's more sort of, I don't know. For Tag, I can feel the strength of the friendship. In Game Night, they're more. So I'm having so much trouble wording it out, but there's more rivalries going on, and
I guess my argument.
I kind of like that.
I guess my argument, what you're saying though, is like you're telling me what's the best ensemble cast, and you're telling me you feel they're both supposed to be these great sets of friends, both supposed to be these powerful sets of friends, and everything else. You're already telling me exactly what you're saying. You're saying you feel that with the Tag, that they're always supportive, very friendly, else, and Game Night they're a rivalry. But Tag has a big rivalry. They're trying to hit the smack on each other. They only come together to face Jeremy Renner's character. So I think that strength of their the feeling of strength of that relationship gives Tag a better thing for me because that's their ensemble. They already are feeling that way together. You
But
feel it.
I enjoy the sort of ragtag group dynamic better than in tag. I feel like I like the fact that they're, taking shots more at each other and they're more at war with each other. Like when I'm blanking on the characters. Bishop from New Girl, you said his name.
Oh, Lamore Morris.
Yeah, that's right.
Kevin.
When they're like stuck in the room and no one's they lock him in there and they're sort of everyone's competing against each other. I sort of find that so funny and I don't know, it's more enjoyable. I want to see that conflict come together.
Counterpoint: John Hamm and Jake Johnson versus competing for Rashida Jones.
I agree. No, it's definitely there. But at the end of the day, they can drop everything. Well, actually, both of these groups can drop everything and be friends.
I'm not going to try to.
No. I think that's one of the harder categories to decide on. I think I'm going with Game Night because McAdams and Bateman's chemistry.
Okay.
Is off the charts. I do love that. That's like such a great relationships and the problems that they have and how they finally come to terms and when they're like deciding to have a baby and everything. It's
okay.
I think everything that I said and they are like the cherry on top that makes me. I know I'm deciding this one more on instinct, which shouldn't be the case. We should like go through the categories, but the ensemble in Game Night feels the more unorthodox choice, but I do love seeing them on screen and how they have these inner wars.
Well, when you're this close, when we tell you when the categories are this close, sometimes you got to go with gut. That's the only thing that can be this deciding factor. You can't really decide through the category. You got to go with gut. I mean, and this is one of those times where it is just simply that close. So I can't deny that. So okay, Game Night then for you. Okay, I'll go tag. I'm still going tag. Can't continue. So
all right. There we go.
So next up, category number 2, concept.
Yep. Concept, better concept. So we have like a group of friends who have game nights and take it over the top with their latest game. Everything happens. It starts to get super real. Then we have tag. The people who play tag in real life as well have been playing the same game for over 30 years through the month of May. I think I just answered. This one is easily tag for me. Easily tag. The fact that they made the movie about how the article is written, like because the reporter is the character who actually wrote the story. This is it's like meta in the same way. That concept to have a game that you play throughout your entire lives. Go ahead. I feel like you want to.
I have friends that I have in real life that I could so have seen us doing something similar to that. Like we've done things like that, like not exactly that, but things that are that wacky and wild that show how close you are. And I see myself so in this concept already. I'm like, I'm all in right away. I'm like, and not only that, I don't know how real like the ending part is or whatever, but adding that element of like that, the dark side to it at the end, a little bit of dark side, it makes the relationships just so much stronger at the end. The concept of it, because it's a good concept, and then you add that at the end, it makes it even better concept. This is why we're seeing this particular year kind of thing instead of saying all years throughout. To me, I agree. When I wrote it up, I love the game night concept. I love having Kyle Chandler's brother as the brother. Really getting that big, you reveal this big like deficit in his character. Like the whole time you think he's supposed to be this great super guy, and you find out just a schmuck, fucks up all the time. Holy shit. But doesn't compare to that. It's a real life story. I mean, I'm sure they amped it up. I know it's amped up. I know it's Hollywoodized.
No, for sure. But that's when magic happens. You take the best parts of both worlds. That's how you make a movie.
I mean, I love that. I just love the idea that we saw at the end there during the credits. We got to see some of the real life antics.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it was so endearing. Like there, they actually like there's a lot less chasing. And when you're like, you're it, and they're like, oh, come here, and they hug, and like it's so heartwarming.
I got the guy in the shower.
And like the naked guys chasing them.
And
the outfits, they actually did the outfits.
The old lady outfit was
the mustache and the old lady, the nun.
So good.
The mascot at the ball game.
Oh God, so good. So,
and I'll do you one better. Me and my friends have a game that's called the Game of Life.
Okay.
That is played throughout the entire year till we die. The rules are you can only know the rules when you're in the game. So I can't tell you what the rules are, but I can say it's a drinking game that can be triggered at any time, anywhere.
I love it. I love it.
And we have like 12 people in it. We induct people, like the closest of friends and the ones who are interested. We ask them. They ask. Usually, how it works is, "What is this game you're playing?" We're like, "We can't tell you until you come into the game." Are you interested in coming into the game? We're usually like, "I don't know. I got to know the rules first." You can't know the rules when you're until you're in the game. When you're in, and you got to follow the rules to a T. And everyone does.
This is
and
scary.
It gets people hammered sometimes. You can end up drinking so much, but you have to do it because it's called the Game of Life.
I love it. I love it. I can't. I wish I would want to get involved almost. I have to think.
When you come to Estonia.
I'll have to say when I come to Estonia. Or else you can bring it to America when we move out here.
Yeah, we got to start a new league then.
New league, new version. I love it. I love it. All right, we both go tag on that one. That's cool. I can
For
do
sure.
on that one. Moving on to the next concept and next category rather. Favorite lines.
Better lines.
I officially, like I said before, I went Zinger and I was going one-liners, but I found it's not the one-liners in these movies that work. It's the rhythm of the dialogue that makes it for me. But I'll let you start with your concepts first.
The lines are almost fist bump moments in the movie. Well, pretty much in a lot of cases they are. I just, I jotted down a few, so this could take a while.
That's okay.
One of my favorite moments in Tag. I don't know, it's not even a funny line, but the way Hannibal says it, he's like getting pretty drunk at the what's the dinner? The rehearsal dinner. And they go like, "How many drinks have you had?" "Well, how many legs does an octopus have?" Like such a dumb line. Like, so 8. He's like, the way he says his facial expression is such a dumb line, but delivered perfectly.
That's him all over in that movie, pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's, one is a fist pump, but it's still a line. It's when Jake Johnson's character finds out Rashida Jones's husband has died. They have their conversation. She walks away. Go, widowed. Widowed. He actually fist pumps. He's like, "Oh my God, you went there. He's rooting for a dead husband. That just happened."
He's the darkest of the whole thing.
For sure.
I'm not saying that I wish he had returned, but I'm not saying.
If it happened, they would have deserved it. That leads into my next one. It's like they faked a miscarriage, and then they go, "It's a miscarriage of justice." Boom.
That was one of the dark sides. It's one of the times in the movie that's kind of like, that might be a little bit. They tagged successfully, I thought, towed the line between going, but like not quite going so far they can't bring it back. You know what I mean? But that was one of the things. But yeah, we should just trade some more lines. I'll throw some in. We should go back and forth with some lines, and then we can say who you win. Going my tag, one of my favorite tag lines. I love what tag does is like when they all start talking, but they do it like it's like a hit, bit, boom, 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 like it's a rhythm thing. Like for example, when Jeremy Renner throws the note out of the window, "Eat my dick balls, no butt, ice cream." What? You know, I'm lactose intolerant. He's talking to me. Just another one of those kind of embarrassed moments. You're just like, that's so perfect. Or go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, yeah, how do you know so much about Beijing 2009 Olympics? Michael Phelps. Fair enough. Like, all right, that was a line that was super funny somehow.
How it works. It's the build.
Does it make sense? Michael Phelps.
Synchronize your watches. I don't know how to do that. I don't wear a watch.
Time is a construct. 5 o'clock. Why you should have just said 5 o'clock.
Please.
Time is a construct. Also, like Episcopalian. That's when you only eat fish. No, that's pescatarian.
Oh man, so good. But then game night has some good ones too.
Yes, sir.
This is again one of my fist bump moments. Was like the idea when game night has when she realizes the gun is real and she shoots. It's like she's waving the gun around. Oh, so this gun is real. Drops and poof. Blood. But my favorite moment
when he uses before he uses the gun, it's like he's holding the gun like he's like,
here's sing the mic. But my favorite lines of the movie, it's the way Jesse Plemons talks.
Oh my god, yes, he almost all of his lines are Jesse Plemons lines.
How can that be profitable for Frito-Lay?
That is exactly the first line that I have written down. No, he goes 3 bags of Tostitos scoops. I noticed there was a special on these tonight. 3 for 1. 3 for 1. How can that be profitable for Frito-Lay? Like so uncomfortable, perfectly played.
Don't besmirch my wife.
He's always in his uniform. He never takes it off in the movie. He's always and he says, "I just came to, walk the dog." He's holding the dog. The dog never gets on the ground. It's like, how are you? Wow.
Always one with the camaraderie of friendship, and just I don't even remember the exact line for that one, but just the way he talks. It's the way he talks. I love it though. Oh God.
And like Jesse Plemons is like the awkward silences when he's like, are you two together? You seem to have a chemistry going on. It's like, no, we're not together. And then Gary goes, all right, I'm probably not the best judge of chemistry in the world. And then Ryan goes, oh, because your wife left you. I love Ryan. Oh wow, he's probably my favorite part of game night is Ryan. I know it's your weakest line for you,
but you might be convincing me more and more you talk about it. I'm like, yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, that was pretty good.
When they're chasing the plane, it's like they taking 3. He's like, all right, I'm going in for the. He's like, you missed, baby. Thanks, baby.
As I'm talking this out, I feel like Tag has better lines overall.
Yeah, and Game Night has better deliveries.
Right, and it's more specifically like Jesse Plemons' delivery that does it. Like when not Jesse Plemons talking, it's good, it's funny, it's everything else, but it doesn't have the same bang that Tag does, like the boom, 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 like moments like that.
I think I'm with you. I think I gotta give this to Tag as well.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, there is rhythm. There is more rhythm. I wish it could write would do like a sequel for Tag or something.
Oh,
be like that'd be so cool.
That would be.
But we'll get into that.
That'd be great. I'd love to see that. All right, let's move on then to better fist pump moments. Now we're already talking about this a little bit where we started talking. Some of the lines are, and I want to also clarify. In comedy, it's better fist pump / like I think you guys put / hijinks. Sometimes it's not exactly like a fist pump, but it's more like your favorite like gut induced laugh kind of moments that you're like you just can't help but fall on the floor.
Although both movies have amazing action sequences.
Oh, they do absolutely,
really do.
But most your best parts are these moments and everything else. For me, I'll start with my better fist pump from Tag. Honestly, it's the Sherlock Holmes fight sequence.
Yes, yeah.
Jerry Renner comes in. I love it. The first time you get it too, he walks into the rehearsal dinner.
He thinks he's caught me off guard.
He goes. He steps in. You see his face, all of a sudden go, "Hello." Dawns on him. Smiles. Hello, boys. Good. He's coming at me. He thinks he's got it.
Yeah.
You see the boat? No, because you see the other people too. But my funniest one though is the church one when he's at the AA meeting. He comes at me.
Yeah. A slight smell of weed.
It's like, so he gets it. He throws the thing. He goes, Hazel, what kind of bitch drinks hazelnut coffee? Because you get both sides going.
Yeah.
Those are definitely. I think of both movies, those are my favorite moments of the entire thing.
Yeah, and Game Night equal to that has the hot potato moment in the Fight Club house. Like that moment where they're throwing the egg, like back and forth, going like tackling each other, and the table. Those are some really strong tables.
Those are great. Those are great tables. Yeah, that's funny as well too.
They even said like something weird's going on with the tables or something like that.
Yeah, I like that. That's true. That's a good one. I also like in Game Night the whole bar scene. We talked about it a little bit when it comes to the line where she's dancing around with the gun. She has no idea it's real. It's like,
yeah,
all fiction. You know, every last one.
Every last, yeah.
So good. So good. I love Rachel McAdams in that role. I think she just nails it perfectly. But another line of hers, actually, I want to make one of my favorite lines. I didn't read it, but it's
Same
actually
here.
You know what I'm going with?
I don't know, but maybe.
There's one of the airplane where like the thug comes up to her and like threatens her, and he's like, "I have kids." He's like, "No, that's like that. You don't." Oh well, thanks.
Well, thank you.
He goes back. He goes, "Yes." Oh, he died.
You like that moment?
I thought that was fucking funny.
Weird. We're so like opposite sides. This is the worst part of the movie for me.
Really?
Yeah, the way she says it. Oh no, he died. That's like, you're a better actress than that. For me, that was so fake.
That I loved it because it was so fake isn't the right word for it. It's just like this. She had this whole big mood of yes. Oh God, it's like so much for her that she's.
I think she sort of sold it better.
I think she sold it better.
It's like, oh no, he died.
But the thing is, like,
oh no, he died.
Oh, because she does like it. She does like the fact that she won, so she's conflicted. It's not like somebody sad. She's trying to control. Like, yes, it's like but it's terrible too. So it's like both a love and a hate at the same time. It's like so it ends up being caught in the middle of like he died.
Yeah, I get the meaning, but it didn't deliver for me. But I do get your meaning.
I liked it myself, but that's okay.
I'd like to. Oh, you don't have to like it. I like it.
One more for Game Night, though.
Yeah.
I gotta throw it in there. The post-credit sequence where you see all of Jesse Plemons' plan. And they had the whole thing all mapped out, like insanely, impossibly mapped out, like all different like lines and sequences, and like circle things, like the Frito-Lay letter. We did not have never offered a 3-for-1 deal. You get so in depth with it. Yeah, like the models drawn out, like the exact sequence how they. Like,
I didn't go into they had the Frito-Lay line in there.
If you look at, did you see the sequence? Yeah,
I did, but I didn't pay that close attention to it.
It goes through the whole thing, and there's like a letter from Frito-Lay to him back saying, "No, just to confirm, sir, we have never had a 3-for-1 deal." It's so.
That is hilarious.
You should go back just to watch that. There's so much in that little sequence moment. I was like, "This is so great."
All right, another Jesse Plemons fist pump, which is like an actual fucking action fist pump, is when he shows up in his cop car. And he has this gunfight. It's not real, but at that moment you think it's real. He's like slides over the hood, he's like takes him down like super badass. Like yes, he's there. That moment when he finally like. Also, I do like how sound. I think it's sound mixing, sound editing. I don't know. Sound works when he gets shot like twice. I think or they're fake guns.
Right.
You can tell it's like it feels real shots at that time. And then he gets up. He says it's all a joke. And then a real, like a more powerful shot that goes actually through him. It's like, you're like, oh, like you immediately know that was a real gunshot.
Right.
That was the way that like shot was made more intense.
Right.
It's a very minor thing, but I do like how like sound department worked.
Just
on that shot.
That's cool. I like that. Wow.
But Tag, like I saved the best line from Tag as a fist pump. Because it's like an explosion of emotion moment. It's and I gotta look it up because I don't want to mess this one up. It's when Jeremy Renner finally gets to the hospital and they're talking and he says so good at the game, and then they say it's not about getting away from each other, it's about being around each other.
Right. It's about keeping it around.
They're all in this like room together and everything. They come together as friends again, and
That's the dark
such
moment.
a
So dark.
it is dark, but it's so emotional. It's so endearing, and
It is.
that line is like that's exactly the point of playing games. They're supposed to bring you together. And then he understands it. Let's Helms tag him.
It's almost sad because I realize he hasn't been close to them for like 30 years.
Yeah.
He's hit
No,
away.
but only in May. They kind of save that moment. He's like, your friend's never been touched, or like, he's like, not through the month of May. I do like that moment because you can still tell that they've had, physical interactions, but this is not through the month of May. So well crafted line there.
I gotta say, it's funny thing is like the two dark moments in the movie is the miscarriage thing is like it's almost a little too far.
It's almost too much,
and it does. And then, but in a way that makes this last part almost worse because you have this whole thing, and then at the beginning you're kind of like
it's a joke.
You're with Jake Johnson, going, okay, I'm waiting for it to like be folded, and they don't, and so it makes it even more powerful, I think, though. And then at the end, that's where it becomes this dramatic thing, and that's where you start. That's where I actually teared up at the end there a little bit because like it was like you don't expect to tear up at a movie like Tag. Like I was kind of like that tear, that crying, or like the moment where they have that moment, they finally they get the tag and they get together, and he has that line. He's like, it's like I might not be around next season, or I might not, or if I am, I'm not going to play well. And then they make a joke about it, which I love because that's what friends are going to do. Like you have that dark humor about it, kind of like, you're really going to suck. You're going to have to be dragged. You're really going to be slow. It's like horrible, but like friends do kind of think that dark
exactly that kind of humor. That's what makes them best friends. Like if I ever have cancer, I want to be people to make these kind of jokes to me. And if I'm ever at a funeral of a family member, I want someone to just go like and have like Game of Life me. I need that to like when they do that, you're fucking family.
Exactly. And you make it through, know what it is. And that's why I think overall, this is why I think I instinctively went and Tag over Game Night, is that I felt the brotherhood in this movie so hard, like beyond like the zaniness, the hilarity, besides the funny fist moments. It's like it has that deep-seated emotional connection with me as far as friends. Like you want friends like that.
And Isla Fisher and Rachel McAdams, they're both like these intense game players who both want to win. Isla Fisher is like I almost wish that they would have tied in that this is like a sequel to Wedding Crashers, because her character is like the older version of herself.
I totally get that. Anyway, hell, Vince Vaughn would have been good in this too, I think.
Make a cameo. They like broke up or something, but he still shows up, wants her back.
Oh, that would have been great. Oh, that would have really been great.
I gotta say one fist bump from Game Night before we make a decision. Is when Ryan has been talking about the Fight Club throughout the movie. Like the Fight Clubs are real. And when they get into the rich guy's house, it's a Fight Club. He's like, I've got a really good feeling about Jerome. It's like, no. He's so in. He wants to bet on the fight.
Oh, it's so good.
I got a really good feeling. I'm sorry, their name was probably wrong.
I it's close or something like that though.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I actually mentioned. That was one of the ones I was going to mention at some point too. But yeah, that's good stuff. That's good.
That's because you feel later. If I walked into a Fight Club, I'd be exactly the same way. It's real.
Oh man. Another minor fist bump I'll throw out there too from Game Night. This is a very big minor one, but I loved how it began.
Very big minor one.
Yes, very big. It's a very important one to me, but it's I understand why it's a minor one as far as like a fist bump one goes. But for me, I loved the beginning, and they introduced the characters. First of all, it was a Queen song playing, so I love that. But like you get this idea right away of how competitive they are, and he's like, oh, he's all acting all drunk, and he goes to the bartender, and he's like, I did 4 cocktails. Allowed to deliver to that table. Like he's like totally undermining everybody for bar trivia. And yeah, that other guy who doesn't appear in the whole rest of the movie, like the friend. He's like, like he's fat, he's overweight. Thank you. Like real happy for you guys. Great. Those little things like that, but that's the other minor fist bump. So so here we go. What do you have? A fist bump? Is it Tag or is it Game Night?
I think it's tag because of we didn't mention the action sequence in the woods as well, where Jeremy Renner has switched. Where everyone's like turns into an almost like a horror movie or a
Yes.
survivor movie or something. The way the tonal changes in the movie and how it's shot and how it's made, like something like Tag is heightened to such cinematic scale. I think the fist pumps and the final line, the it's supposed to bring everyone together, I think goes to Tag.
Okay, I go with that too. That's what I'm going with too.
All right.
So we move on to the MVP.
The MVP of the
I
cast.
think we both have the same MVP for game night.
Actually, interestingly enough, we don't.
You don't.
Jesse Plemons is a close second, and my number one pick is very surprising because it feels like the cool choice, but it's actually Jeremy Renner.
In game night?
No, in Tag.
Oh, okay. I was talking about who's your MVP for game night.
Okay, no, but I picked one. It's either in game night or in Tag.
Oh, okay. See, what I did is I picked an MVP for game night. I picked an MVP for Tag, and then put them up against each other. That's what I did.
Well, yeah, it's MVP from game night is Jesse Plemons, and
that's what I was saying. We both have the same MVP.
But I didn't award second places. I just decided on the winner.
Okay, sorry.
And
go ahead.
Jeremy Renner, I know he feels like the cool choice because he has such a flamboyant role, like any like actor would want it, but and it's overplayed, but it's meant to be overplayed. The way he's so good at everything is like that's Hawkeye. That kind of him as Hawkeye kind of helps you believe that character, and like you said, the Sherlock Holmes moments that he has. He's so cool. He's so freaking strong and fast and smart.
The grandma thing. Walker. It's on the walker. The guy comes up. What's up, man? Is this old lady bothering you? No, we're good.
Mm-hmm. And the final tap when it's happening, he's like he wants his friend to tag him, but I can't do it. I still can't do it. I can't make it happen. He's like still fighting. I don't know. It's Jeremy Renner really is. He's the cool choice, but he's also he's the cool choice for a reason.
Okay. So you're picking Tag and you're picking Jeremy Renner. Okay.
That's right.
Now
you're going with Jesse Plemons.
Jesse Plemons. I'm putting up my Jesse Plemons was my game night one. My Tag one was actually a low key, not someone you would think of, but she might be my favorite part of the movie. Is Isla Fisher. I love how her intensity just makes every moment like they're scared of her. Like she comes in the first time you see her, she's just kind of like, oh well, yeah, she's at the library, and like I was like, what month is it? May. You're not going anywhere. He pushes it over. He's like, are you okay? She goes out and gets blood on her face. He's left.
And you're way too intense for the game.
You got to stop. Get the fuck out. She's like swearing the whole time. You cut that off, you motherfucker.
Yeah, nose bleeding, everything.
And that's the whole movie. She gets like that intense. Every single time they say I'm too intense for the game. Shut the fuck up. And then it's another minor fist bump, but it's almost like it's weirdly like emotional. At the end, they come in and he tags her and he goes, "Amendment, girls can play." Oh shit! You're gonna suck my tiny ginger ball.
Yes, tiny ginger balls.
Her intensity is like low key one of my favorite parts of the entire like movie, both movies. But as I say that, I wanted to give her some props because I loved her so much. But Jesse Plemons still is my MVP.
Very close second for me. Very close second. He's a friggin' treasure, and he's so awesome.
It is really awesome. So we're done. We've just finished up all our categories.
All right.
And it's not very close. I score of 8-2.
Wow.
Tag is our winner.
Tag. All right. I had a feeling by the end.
8-2. Man, we're just like sweeping these things. They're not. This is the one we thought was going to be the closest we've ever had.
It really is. Like every matchup is close, but you got to make a decision. And when you're going one way, that shows in the score.
It makes sense to me completely. This is what I thought was going to happen. This is why I like Tag just a little bit more. I think overall, honestly, it's the emotional core at the center. Game Night has an emotional core a little bit, but it's not as well developed. It's not as hard hitting. It's a little more generic, I'd say. I don't get like when they have a baby at the end. I'm kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool. That's cool. When the brotherhood thing happens, I'm like, oh man, that brotherhood kind of thing. So it's like, yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me. So that makes it in to me. I'm happy with this outcome. I don't know. How about you?
I am as well, because
Yeah.
they really are so close to me. These movies, one of them had to win. I'm glad it's tag.
And the funny thing is, like, it's not like we both absolutely love Game Night. I would turn Game Night on and have a great time.
Mm-hmm.
I actually I've wanted Ben and Drew to cover it for AMA or whatever, both of them for a long time now. I still hope that they will cover these movies today because I'd love to have episodes on them both.
Or if Tag or Game Night has ever a sequel, that'd be such a cool. Like both movies would work as sequels. And I have an interesting proposition.
Throw it out there.
Have a freaking crossover. Have these movies crossover. That would be insane.
A Game Night tag version.
No, not Gag Night. No.
That's a totally different story. That's a totally different. That's a
Tag Night.
Adult night. Tag Night. Exactly. Tag Night. They play tag on Game Night. That's what they do. I love it. We'll go with that all day.
I kind of want it to be Gag Night though.
Yeah, that's late night. That's a late night after channel.
That's an After Dark episode.
After Dark episode. We're not going to go there.
Nope.
All right, guys. Well, that is going to be it. That's going to wrap us up for this week's episode. Next week, you will see us. We already got it all planned out. And by the time you see this, it might actually even be recorded already. That's how this works. You're ahead of us. You're in the future. We're in the future. Batman Begins versus The Dark Knight Rises.
Yep.
Interesting. I'm very interested in taking two movies from a trilogy and putting them up against each other. And there's not many trilogies you can do it because there's usually such disparity between them within the franchise. But I think these are very good components because you have the origin story, which is underappreciated a little bit, but is well respected. And then you have The Dark Knight Rises, which has so many good moments and a great villain, great everything else, but maybe some consider it to be a lesser movie comparatively after The Dark Knight. But I'm really excited to see how both these work.
Yeah, it's going to be a great episode, and I can't wait to rewatch the movies. I'm so locked in.
Yeah, to me, the funny thing is going to be weird. Can I actually? I feel like I do a lot of podcasts and stuff. I try to watch all these movies. I'm trying to watch new movies. Can I actually watch Batman Begins and Dark Knight Rises without watching The Dark Knight?
Exactly my point. But I think you can because the storyline of Ra's al Ghul is actually, it goes from 1 to 3.
Yeah.
That storyline is very connected. I think it would be a very interesting watch. I don't think a lot of people have done it.
And that's exactly what I thought too. So out of my attempt, I thought about exactly the same way. I can't wait to try it out.
I bet we've both seen The Dark Knight way more times than either of these movies. So it would be an interesting thing. We would be creating our own, machete order.
There you go. I like that. But leave a comment below. Let us know what other suggestions we have. We also have Braveheart versus The Patriot coming up. And we also have Unstoppable versus Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. And we have the ranking of Tony Scott movies, which I'm getting.
That's going to be a great one.
I just watched The Fan and Enemy of the State yesterday. So those are both good ones. Did you ever see The Fan? I wonder if that's one of them.
I have not.
It's good. I liked it a lot better than the rating. Like, it didn't get high ratings, but I liked it quite a bit. So, Bobby De Niro. I like Bobby De Niro.
Oh, right. It's that one. I was thinking about the John Travolta one.
Oh, no. Different one.
But the Fanatic. That's the one.
Fanatic. That's what you're thinking of. So where can the folks find you there, Richard?
You can find me at Richard Eric with a K Jarvie on Instagram and Facebook. And you can find me here weekly on Class Action with PLD.
You can find me here with Richard Eric Jarvie. And also you can find me on the Call to Action podcast, on Chill to Action, where we interview movie trivia Schmodown competitors. And you can also find me at PLD Projects, where I know I've been threatening this for a while now, but I'm getting really close to starting the Harris-thon, so we go through all the Ed Harris movies. And of course on Twitter at Paul_Deduzio, and also at the Team Action Patreon, patreon.com/Team Action. All right, so that's it, guys. As we say, love you. Leave likes and comments, and we will talk to you soon. As always, court is adjourned.